Grigori is our guest this morning. He's a graduate of Columbia University and a professor of electrical engineering at SUNY for 41 years. Currently retired, he's been involved with Greek music and songs since 1974 and is a founding member and soloist of the Greek popular chorus established in New York by Mikis Theodorakis. Since then, he's established himself as one of the major performers of quality, traditional, and contemporary Greek music songs with appearances at Carnegie Recital Hall, the Alex Tully and Merkin Halls of Lincoln Center, Symphony Space, La Mama, and Manhattan theaters, as well as TV and radio shows here and in Greece and numerous other halls and university campuses. Grigori is still performing. He has a show that's coming up at the Archdiocese Center in New York. We'll ask him about that. He's the founder of Mikrokosmos Boîte in New York and was the featured male vocalist of the Cafe Aman America band, which toured in 1997 in Greece and in Europe. With acclaimed performances in Thessaloniki, the Lykoveris and Herodion theaters in Athens. And we mentioned earlier, we'll mention it again, that he appeared on Greek national TV in nearly 20 TV episodes of the series Oniru Elas, Hellas of a Dream, a musical show produced by Costa Ferris, the renowned producer of the legendary film Rebetiko. And for many years, he continues to perform quality Greek music in concerts for various Greek American communities and organizations in the United States and summer concerts in Greece. I think we should just say right now, Kalimera Grigori, do we have you on the line?
Kalimera Meleti, Kalimera to your audience.
Oh, it's so good to hear you, my friend. How are you? It sounds like there's some background thing there. Are you listening to the radio? You may want to tune that down. So we're recording the segment anyway.
Okay.
There you go.
I don't have anything on. I don't know if you're talking to me or maybe some people in the audience. I don't know.
You know, Grigori, it's almost one of these, there's no need to introduce you because so many people here know you. And I know you've been to Boston many, many times. And you're very, very active in the New York area, all over. And I told the audience earlier that you were also working on your book. So I guess what I want to do this morning is ask you where your story started in America. When did you come here to the United States?
I came, the first time I came here was in 1963, in September 1963. And the reason that I came, I was not quite 18 yet. I came to go to school, to go to the university. I had a soccer scholarship at Adelphi University in New York, and I did my undergraduate in physics, and then I transferred to Columbia University where I did my master's and my professional, the PE degree there. And about, I guess, from 1963 to 1971, in 8 years. And then I worked in the industry a little bit, the electrical engineering in an electric position.
Yes.
In 1979, I started at the State University, and that goes.
Yes, so exciting. We mentioned that you were a founding member and soloist in the Greek popular chorus established in New York by Mikis Theodorakis. How did you meet him? How did this happen?
Yes. Okay, well, from 1967 to 1973, there was the period where the Greek military junta was in Greece, right?
Yes.
You remember that?
Yes.
And when the kind of the incident, or the resurrection, if you want to call it that, at the Polytechnic, where was the catalyst of the junta losing power, Mikis Theodorakis came in New York in the spring of I guess in the spring of 1974. The Polytechnic was in 1973 in November, and then after that he came to New York basically to do a film with Melina Mercouri and Gilles Dassin, her husband. The film was going to be called The Rehearsal, and it was going to deal with the doings of the military junta, and then they were supposed to kind of release the film and tell the world about what the military junta was doing in Greece for 7 years. However, in that film, there were like well-known actors like Olympia Dukakis and others that I don't recall all their names. But part of the film of that film was a choir, and through the choir, the story of the junta was told. And I was part of that choir that was established in New York by Mikis Theodorakis and Melina Mercouri and Zilda San. And that's how I started, getting directly involved with music.
You can tell how excited I am right now because it was just a few years ago that I received a donation from a member of that chorus that you may remember Judith Coles had sent me.
Of course. Oh my God, my goodness. It's funny you mentioned that because you just mentioned someone who is not Greek.
Yes, I know.
And the members of the choir. I mean, the excitement about the chorus of Dorakis and the matter of the military junta was so prevailing here that we had members in the choir, the original choir, that were non-Greek, and they actually learned at least how to pronounce the words, and they were part of the performances of the choir. And now that you make me remember a lot of things. The first concert that the choir gave was in Boston.
Is that right? You came here first. Okay.
Yes. I mean, we did one with Mikis Theodorakis just at the time where the choir was established in Astoria. But then Theodorakis left and went to Greece, and the choir was taken over by Yannis Glezos, if you know him. He's another Greek composer who was in New York then.
Yes.
And we traveled to Boston for our first concert, yes.
And do you remember where that was? Where did you do? Was it the Malioto?
Unfortunately, I don't.
Yeah. But it's fascinating, Grigori. You're connecting so much history for us, and that film that you mentioned in Judith's collection, there were actual pictures, backstage pictures, and it had Mikis and Melina were in the pictures, and all of you on the stage and in different sets.
Yes.
So
this is, I talk about that in my book.
Do you?
Because I have some, I have like a lot of, in my archives, I have some original letters that we exchanged with Dorakis as members of the choir, and he responded back, and he wanted to use us in some of his concerts. I mean, there was a lot of things that happened there that I'm trying to kind of research my memory and also my archives to sort of present them in my book in some way.
I mean, it's 50 years ago we're talking. 50 years ago it was.
Yeah, that was that. Well, I can tell you exactly when it was. It was in April 1974.
Now, what happened to the film? Someone told me that it didn't come out, but it came out recently. Is that what happened?
Yes, the film. What happened? The actual junta fell before the film was released. So after the junta fell, there was not really a point, of the film having like an impact, because the purpose of the film, according to Dasen and Melina, was to να δυσφημίσει, να δυσφημίσει τη junta στον κόσμο.
Yeah.
But if the junta fell, there was no point, and the film came out, but it wasn't as successful as it would have been if it was released before the junta fell.
It's lost some of its context, I guess. Where did it come out? Were you part of that opening?
No, I don't know. I don't think it came out in America, because they left, and the film came out someplace in maybe Paris or London, somewhere in Europe.
It's fascinating.
It's called The Rehearsal. You can search it out. If anyone wants to learn something about the film, you can just search The Rehearsal in the online, and you will find some references to it.
That's excellent. Now tell us about your book, Grigori. When did you start working on this?
Well, I started when I retired from college. In 2020, I got COVID. I was one of the first ones who got COVID in March.
Oh boy.
And then in the college we started going online, teaching online. I didn't like teaching online because I didn't think it was fair for the students, basically.
Right.
And I decided that since I already had 41 years there, I decided to submit my resignation for September 1st, 2020. After that, I had in mind that all the material and all the archives that I had, photographs and newspaper clippings and letters from Theodorakis, letters from Yannis Ritsos, part of the choir, and then part of the Boat era here in New York. I said to myself, if I don't find a way to use this material, all this period is going to be forgotten because nobody's going to write about it. So I decided to look through all my archives, and I kind of separated them in different periods, and I started writing in 2020.
It's so good that you're doing this because, as you say, who else is going to tell that history, Grigori? You were the closest one to it. The whole Boat
Well,
era.
there were others, Meleti, but I don't think, I stayed. See, the difference is that most of the people that were involved with the choir and all that, they were like students. They were fitites,
Yeah.
from different universities. But they all had their careers, They went back to Greece. They were all like placed in different jobs. I continued with music. I continued the singing and getting involved. So I remained I stayed in contact with all of that, and that's why I guess I felt that I should να αξιοποιήσω αυτό το υλικό, να το πω στα ελληνικά πιο καθαρά.
Yeah. Now the sign for your Boat is still up on the building. Isn't that the case in Astoria? The original sign?
Not anymore.
Oh.
Actually, Astoria, to briefly describe the Boat era, it was the period from I guess 1977, 1978 until about 2003 or so. And that period involved 5 different boats.
Really?
The first one was in Astoria. It was in the center of Astoria, on Ditmas Boulevard, if people know about Astoria.
Yeah.
And it was established by Serafim Lazos, the guitarist.
Okay.
Then he started in 1977 or 1978. In 1981, my friend and I got the rights of the Boat. Lazos wanted to get rid of it, so we bought it for it. I don't even remember how much we paid for it, but we got the same place, and we called it Mikrokosmos.
That's great.
And that became like a club of students and everybody who wanted to listen to a different kind of music. Even political song. Even in 1981 when we started. Then in 1984 there was another one that was established in Astoria called Akroama, and almost at the same time because my friend ο συνέτερος μου έφυγε και πήγε στο Σικάγο και εγώ δεν μπορούσα να ασχοληθώ και ένας άλλος φίλος άνοιξε Μικρόκοσμος number 2 in just a few blocks away. So and this is like Lazos, Μικρόκοσμος 1, Ακρόαμα, Μικρόκοσμος number 2, that's 4, and then finally in New York City, in Manhattan, in 6th Avenue and 21st Street, the last Boat opened in the early 90s, early 90s. That was the Theasos, and it lasted until 2003, and that was the whole 25 or so years of the Boat era in New York.
How for people that don't know what a Boat is, how do we describe the kind of music that we
Okay. Yeah. Well, the boite, I mean, is a French word, right? It's spelled B-O-I-T-E,
Yes.
and it means a box.
Oh,
I
okay.
mean, so it's like a so that gives you, if you talk about a musical place that's called a box, it's an intimate, really, a small place where people gather, not very, not with large tables and lights and stuff, but like a little group of friends
Yeah.
singing together.
Right. And now I remember you have over the years you've put up a picture or two, or I'd seen a picture or two. Are you going to include photographs like these in your book?
Yes, of course, and a lot of paper clippings. Yes.
Oh, this is just great.
You
You
know,
know. Yeah.
you also had something like that in Boston. My friend Kosmas Vroulianis. Kosma.
Oh, yes.
Well, Kosmas, they also had started something similar to that in the 70s in Boston, and maybe he can tell you the Bostonian story of the boîte.
Yeah, I love it. Cosma is full of these great stories, and I keep on finding newspaper clippings of Cosma in different. I mean, Melina McCurry was here once, and Cosma was playing at the reception, and
Yes,
all of these
yes.
things. There's so much history. I'm curious at how the two of you met.
Well, actually, we met just through the telephone, really. I mean, I never knew Cosma.
Yeah.
I heard that there is a group in Boston that is doing something similar to what we're doing in New York. I know they came in New York and played in the Lazos Boîte one night
Yes.
in the late 70s.
Oh, they did.
Before we got it as Mikrokosmos, but I never met them there. Then it was through some kind of a telephone conversation or through the line, online that we met, and he invited me to come to Boston a few times and sing with them, and that was a great pleasure. These guys, I mean, Cosma is really a good friend, and I think what they're doing there is what they have been doing, and I don't know if they're still doing it very actively. But it was a pleasure, working with him.
He is excellent, and the musicians leave us memories. This is the important thing, I think, for us, is that I think of certain songs now, and I think of Cosma because I remember him singing
Yes,
it.
of course. Yeah, yeah.
And this is how these things survive for us, and
Yeah.
they become very, very special. And maybe it was Anna Paivusi. I think Anna had worked with
Yes,
Cosma.
Anna had worked with Anna worked with him. Anna was also part of the boîte era because she was working not with me so much, but with Lazos, the first boîte.
Yeah.
But we worked with Anna in Café Aman America in 1974. We started, recording
Yeah.
the Café Aman America songs, and then we went to Greece. We went to Likavitos, like you said at your introduction. We went to Erodion. We went to Holland. We went to Brussels and other places in Europe. The only place we didn't go was America.
And yet, the music that you were playing in Greece, a lot of it was music that was long forgotten, released but popular here in America.
Oh yes,
How
yes.
did you
This
come up?
this is a good part in my book. I mean, I'm referring to that period and the type of songs. Yes, definitely.
And do you speak? Do you plan to speak about your relationship with Dino Pappas?
Yes, Dino Papas was actually the impetus, of starting us with the Café Man, because he came to New York and he met the founder of Café Man America was a friend of mine, and he died because of COVID in 2021. He was only 57 years old. Michalis Adam.
Oh, okay.
Yes, and he gave Michali a set of cassettes, and of his collection, Dino Papas, right? And Michali called me in his office. He says, "Listen to this stuff that that Dino Papas gave me." And we were listening, and my instinctive reaction was, "Michali, we should make this into a record." And he said, why did you think I called you here?
Really? Oh, that's
So
great.
that's how it started, Meleti. We
Really?
started talking about it. He said, "Can you put a band together?" And then I talked to my friends who got and then some musicians in New York. Finally, we ended up with 12 musicians, all Greek Americans. I mean, Greek Americans either born here or Greeks who lived in America. Like I was not born here, but there were most of the other ones were born in America.
Yeah.
So we put the group together. We started rehearsing in 1994. We collected the songs. The criteria of collecting the songs was to collect or to include in the album the ones that were more Gringlish, the one that had the most Gringlish kind of words in there, like «Γιατί γλυκό μου sweetheart», «Δεν με πληγώνεις τόσο hard», and things like that.
Right.
Or το mistake,
Is the CD still available? The music still available?
Well, online, yes, definitely, it's still online. Yes, the original album was finished in 1995. We released it in May, The company that funded it was Music World in New Jersey. It does. I don't think it's around anymore. It was a Greek-owned company, and they funded the project. Initially, listen to this. Initially, we thought the projected budget was $20,000. It went over $80,000. So we did the initial CD. With that, we were invited to go to Greece. We went to Greece in 1997, Likavitos and Thessaloniki and Herodion, and then we flew to Holland and Brussels to do concerts. And the original, the songs in Likavitos also came out on a CD, the live songs.
Now there's a story.
So there's the initial studio recordings, which had, I have the brochure right here. It had like 14 songs, and then we had the concert of the Likavitos, which had maybe 30 or so songs. The original CD came out, and then later on, the Likavitos live concert came out. I don't have the live concert, but it's available online. If you Google it, you will find several of the songs online.
Isn't there a story though behind the recording?
Is it a what?
Isn't there a story behind the recording? I seem to remember that you telling me that that recording was found after many, many years. Was that the one?
Well, I didn't know. Yes. Well, I think what I might have told you is that I didn't know that the live recording was released by someone. It was released by Michalis Adam Company.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, he had the rights of the songs,
right,
because he was the original, founder. It was released by his company before he died. But I didn't know about it, and I accidentally saw the picture online with the front of the CD that we did, and I tried to listen to the songs, and I realized it was like the original or live recording in Likavitos. And something funny, I had forgotten all the songs that we did. The original CD had only 14 songs.
Right.
The concert had like 30. And I didn't remember those songs, and I said, "What did they do? They played the music. They put someone to sing the songs. I didn't even recognize my voice." The live recording.
Jeez, it's amazing the repertoire. To me, I grew up with a lot of those songs, and how were they received in Greece? They must have gone crazy over the stuff.
Yeah, well, the unfortunate thing is that how should I say, the person who's in charge of the music in our rehearsals and the orchestrations and organizing the musicians, Jimmy Karas, who was a well-educated underrated musician here in New York. He played with Dean Martin and Frank Sinatra. He was at that caliber.
Wow.
He died when we came back from Greece after the live concerts. He died at the age of 53 or something, 55, 54. And then after that, the group, disappeared because every member of the Café Aman group was from a different band in New York. I had Mikrokos's band. Our clarinetist has another band. The drummer, another band. So after we came back, we kind of, everybody went on his way to his band, and the Café Aman America as a group didn't exist anymore.
Well,
and that's where it is right now. I'm trying to. Well, now you mentioned this. I am. Before I completely retired, I want to do a project and revive the Café Aman music, at least in one big concert in New York. I hope I can do it maybe in the next 2 years.
I hope so too, Grigori. I was telling the audience earlier this morning, we're playing some of the songs that you had sent to me, and my phone was like lighting up with messages and saying, "Who is this? This is wonderful." And I'm like, listen, you've got to listen at 9:15. And I just want to say, for your book, I hope that you'll put aside a copy for me if I don't get to buy it right away.
Well, you're not going to buy it. I'm going to send it to you. The thing is, Meleti, the difficult part is because I'm inexperienced writer. I do it like out of an instinct. Okay, so it's a little bit. It's a process that is very slow for me, but I have managed to be on the 5th chapter right now. I've completed 4 chapters. I'm on the 5th one. I need 7 or 8, so I need 2 or 3 more chapters to finish. And I hope if I put myself to it that I could probably finish it within 2025. And definitely you will have a copy of that book.
I don't want to miss it. I am so excited because I think it really helps to round out or provide sort of a continuum of the Greek Music in America book that we had done some years ago. You're going to be touching on things that we didn't touch upon in the book, and I think that's very important.
By the way, I have that book that you're referring to.
Oh, good.
I bought the book, and it's a guide for me. I mean, that book is one guide, the Greek Music in America, and also another book that came out in 1948 by Babis Malafouris, a journalist here in New York, which is called Greeks in America.
Yes.
1528, 1948.
Yeah, it's a monumental book. It's out of print, and it is beautiful. I don't know why the book was never re-released in his time.
Because Malafouris died in 1991. He was a friend of mine. Actually, I have a copy which is donated by him.
Do you? Yeah.
Yes, and it was in my library for 30 years. And when I decided to write a book and I wanted to look back, that became one of the references that I referred to.
It's a monumental book. It really is. Now, I know we're jumping around a little bit, but since we've mentioned your work with Kostaferis, can you describe how you met him? And you must have gone to Greece to do all of those recordings.
Well, Kostaferis, when he was supposed to do the Rebetiko film, he was looking for funding. And in 1981, 82, it was about that time, I don't remember exactly when, he came to Mikrokosmos and listened to us playing.
Really?
And yes, and we were playing at the time, part of our show always, we had Rebetika. And once he heard us, it was me and Eli Paspala that were playing.
Yes.
And he told us, you guys, I want to use you in the film. So he took us to on Fifth. I remember he took us on Fifth Avenue, in one building where the elevator opens into the apartment of the particular resident.
Right.
And that was one person that he had found, a producer or something, that was going to fund the film. So, we had the cocktails, and we
Yeah.
were talking about it, and it was so exciting for me that I was going to be part of that film. But what happened is, I don't want to give details of that because it's a little bit of a, how should I say it, στα ελληνικά λέμε ροζ details.
Yeah.
Έγινε κάτι εκεί με τον πρωταγωνιστή του, αυτό που θα ήταν πρωταγωνιστή στο φιλμ, με μια κοπέλα εκεί η οποία ήταν συνδεδεμένη με τον παραγωγό που θα έκανε funding το φιλμ, και τελικά αναβάγησε η υπόθεση αυτή και ο Φέρης πήγε στην Ελλάδα και έψαξε αλλού να βρει χρήματα για το φιλμ, το οποίο το έκανε.
Right.
But since then we kept our friendship.
Okay.
And he called me one time in 2008. He called me and said, Grigori, I would like you to participate in this TV series on Niru Elas. He sent me, a whole set of songs, and I listened to the songs. I went to Greece for vacation in the summer, and for 5 days I went to Athens in the recording studio of the Earth, the Ελληνική τηλεόραση.
Yes.
And I recorded, I think, 19 or 20 songs in 5 days, which was, a monstrous kind of task. But I did it, and it was a pleasure doing it. And we're still in touch. Sometimes we talk. He's really, a good friend, and he he really helped me, get into that. Although it was not for money. I did it because I like to do it,
Right. It's nice that you have been mentored by some incredible people, and you yourself mentor. I've been to performances where you have brought young people onto the stage with you, and
I started that in 2010. I thought that we should give an opportunity to our, second and third generation young Greek Americans who love to do Greek music to get involved, not as audiences, but as active participants. That was my motto. And I had 12 years old, 13 years old, 15 years old, 16 now in my concerts, either singing or playing. And now I'm happy to know that at least two of them are having a career. I mean, one of them, I think you probably interview her.
Angeliki.
Yes, Angeliki Psoni, and also Nikita Stampakis, who is also, playing and singing.
Yeah.
And they are not 100% professional musicians, but they're very good.
Yes.
And they have their other job. Angeliki is a lawyer, right? And Nikita is like an computer style, computer software engineer or something. Mm-hmm. And that was a project that I'm proud about.
Oh, you should be. Grigori, it's when I've seen your shows here and in New York. Every performance that I've attended, every different type of show that you've done, has been a learning experience for me. It's not just come opa. These are well thought through and put together performances, oftentimes with narration and really well done. And I think it's good for the young people to be exposed in that way.
Meleti, I in all my concerts, 100% of them, I always have a narrative part in the concert, because I believe that the people from the concert should leave not only with a feeling that they enjoyed, that they sang along and they liked the songs, but also learning something about a song or about a composer or about the history of a certain style of songs, rebetika or archodorebetika. So there's always a narrative part. And I think, at least in New York, the feedback that I get is that a lot of people, or most people, if not all, they enjoy this part, the narrative part, because they say, well, we learned something. And in the concert that is coming up now on April, which has this funny title, I sing like a chanter and I chant like a singer.
Yes, it's true.
I'm collaborating with a very good, an excellent, Byzantine chanter, and myself, and we're doing like a presentation which will take like traditional and other songs and put them against Byzantine hymns, and compare the Byzantine ichus
yes.
with the different scales like Hijaz, Plagios Defteros, or Plagios Tetartos major scale, or Plagios Protos minor scale, and do a song and a chant together, just to demonstrate to the audience the relevance.
You know, as soon as you put up your poster announcing it, and if you don't know, folks, the flyer is online. It's on Facebook, and you can contact us, and we'll send it to you if you don't have it. But this is a concert that's coming up in April at the Archdiocesan Cultural Center in Astoria. It's on Saturday, April 20th at 7:30. I'm sure it will be sold out. So you want to, basically you can write to Grigori or call for information and reservations. Should we give that information on the air?
Sure.
Okay. Go ahead, Grigori. Tell us your email address and your phone number.
Okay, they can call 718
Yes.
746 4131. Let me just remind myself of the other. There's two phone numbers they can call, or email. Email is gkangm@aol.com.
Okay, that's easy enough. And so tell us. I want to go back now to where you were born.
I was born on the island of Chios, but I grew up on the island of Limnos since I was 9. And before I was 18, I was here in New York, and I'm still here.
And what brought you to New York? Was it
just to go to school, Meleti, just
for that reason?
To study, yes.
Yeah. And did you get involved with the church? And
I got involved with the church. My mother was a church choir, and since I was 6, 7, 8 years old, she was always taking me to the church, and I instinctively I paid a lot of attention to the chanters, and I liked what they did, and I learned just listening most of the hymns, of the church hymns. When I came into New York, I mean even in Greece, I took a few Byzantine music lessons. One of my regrets is that I didn't follow this fully, and right now I regret that I don't know Byzantine music in depth, like a lot of people do, and I admire them for that. And my other regret, by the way, I have two regrets, and these are the only two, by the way. The one is that I didn't learn fully and in-depth Byzantine music. I know the basics, and I've been like a chanter here for over 50 years in New York, so I can manage, but I lack a lot of theoretical background, and I cannot compare myself to the great chanters. And also my other regret is that I did not learn a musical instrument. These are the two.
Oh, well, there's always time, Grigori, isn't there?
Ξέρεις τι λένε στην Ελλάδα. Ή μικρός παντρέψου, ή μικρός καλογερέψου. Δηλαδή ή γίνε καλόγερος από μικρός ή παντρέψου, γιατί ό,τι μάθεις μικρός είναι. Μεγάλος δύσκολα να μάθεις.
That's true. There's a lot of truth to that, I have to say.
Like you can't teach an old dog new tricks, right? They have every language has its own way of saying the same thing.
That's it. For those of you that are just tuning in, our guest this morning is Grigoris Maninakis. He is on the line from New York, where he has a concert that's coming up. He is also working on a book. We're very excited. And it's on his experience in Greek music, both here and abroad. And his insights are just so valuable. And I think I'm so pleased again that you're putting together the book. With just the few minutes that we have left, is there something that I should have asked that I didn't ask?
No, not really.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't think of anything.
We could go on. You have been with the Hellenic public radio station Cosmos FM pretty much since its inception.
Actually, this is something that maybe you don't know. I am the onono Nonos, you know Nono?
Yes.
Is I gave the name Cosmos FM.
You're kidding.
Yes, the original, the founder of Cosmos FM.
Yeah.
Now he lives in Greece. We were like in a parea, and we were talking about. He said, what am I gonna, how should I name this new station? And in my head was Mikrokosmos because we had the what.
Right.
And Mikrokosmos, I said, how about Cosmos? Oh, he loved it, and that's how.
That's how it got going.
Thanasis Zisimopoulos, by the way, is the original founder of Cosmos.
Oh, okay. That's great
And
history.
I'm the Nono.
And you're the Nono. That's how you gave the name. That's right. I get it now. I'm going to learn so much. Every time I speak with you, my mind is just like, I'm just full with happiness, and I think you've brought a lot of joy.
Look, I mean, you are the only person I know that you've dug yourself with love and conviction and discipline into the history related to Greek music. And a lot of times, like I said before, I refer to your writings or to your postings to get some information about the things that I write about. So I want to express my appreciation to you for that.
Thank you, my friend. It was very nice of you to say that. And I hope I was contacted last evening by some friends in New Hampshire who said, I was telling them about your show. They saw the poster online, and they said, let's go. So I hope that the winds of fortune blow my way and that I can make it again to New York to see you.
Well, sure, anytime. Just let me know, and I'll take care of it.
Thank you, Grigori. Ladies and gentlemen, Grigori, have a nice day. We're going to get ready.
Thank you, Meleti. Thank you very much, and have a great day. Have a great Holy Week. Καλό Πάσχα κλπ.
Επίσης. Good luck with the book. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you, Meleti. Thank you. Take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, our guest this morning, Grigoris Maninakis, just a wonderful, wonderful person who's done a lot of good and continues to do a lot of good. Stay tuned because we have the news report with Nicoletta that's coming up at the top of the hour. It's Mondays with Meleti and your host, Meleti Pouliopoulos.